Hindsighters, welcome to In Depth with Ty Burnett on Hindsight Media Radio 103.5 FM, where there's always something good to talk about. Tonight, we're turning up the heat and pulling back the curtain on a marriage that's anything but picture perfect. Joining us are two cast members from the jaw dropping stage play, What a Woman Wants and What a Man Needs to Know. Antwan and Michelle, husband and wife on stage, and emotional firecrackers in every scene. Michelle, she's loyal, grounded, and holding it down like a real one. Antwan, let's just say he's smooth, charming, and hiding a secret that will pop your cherry and leave your morals gasping for air. This isn't just drama. It's a masterclass in deception, desire, and the kind of truth that doesn't knock, it kicks the door in. So grab your tea, clutch your pearls, and get ready to meet the couple who redefines what it means to love, lie, and live with the consequences. Antwan and Michelle, thank you for joining me. Let's dive in.
Thank you for having us.
Going
Absolutely.
on.
Absolutely. So, guys, tell me, we're going to start with Antoine. Going to let you go first. Tell me, what was your thought process when you first received the script?
Um, More so, you just kind of, as a man, right? You just kind of think back to more of your smooth moments. You think more so back to your moments when, truthfully, when I was in high school, I had my times in high school, of being smooth and, making choices, and you live with them, So I think that's kind of the guy that I think about sometimes. The guy that I was in high school, or maybe some other guys I've seen. This character is not just he's unique, but we've seen this character and we've seen this character in a few men before. So
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Let's go. Lashika, aka Michelle.
Hmm? What was the question?
So the question is, when you received the script, what was your thought process?
Oh wow. So when I received this script, I was like, I can I can relate. I was feeling um the whole entire script. It's an amazing written, played out written script. So I could pretty much relate to Michelle and other characters in the play because again it's real life. So I fell in love with the play and I was so exciting when I actually got the role as Michelle.
Okay, super fantastic. Now, let's keep on going, Michelle. I'll just use your character name. What inspired you to join the cast?
What inspired me was this is actually my first play. Um, I've always wanted to be in a play, and when I saw the casting on social media, I actually dived for it, right? Um, and just having to get that stage play under my belt as an actress, I felt that it would help a lot and much needed. Again, this is my first play, so I'm just ready to present to the audience what the character of Michelle is all about.
All right. And all right, Antoine, using your character name as well, you tell us what inspired you to join the cast.
So I am a returning cast member. But the first time I joined, truthfully, I was really looking for an acting gig, looking for an acting space, truthfully. Kind of like you said, this was this is kind of like my first stage play, right?
Mhm.
I've been in plays where, like, for instance, I tell this joke all the time. I think it's kind of funny. And which is kind of funny. My character is who he is. I actually started getting into play, well, kind of like plays acting because I was trying to get with this girl, you know. So I was trying to get with this girl, got into plays and acting and that whole thing. And that was kind of like my last time really doing it. And just kind of like I was in the space and I was like, man, I really would like to act and that whole thing. And looking up this girl, I believe it was a girl named Jada that I had met. She was a part of the one of the first shows, and she was like, "Man, Jada and Caleb, they asked, like, man, would you love to be a part of that?" And I was like, "Absolutely!" I was looking for something like this, you know. And so then too, and I just thought about this when I first saw the script too, because I just remembered like my very first time. I kind of had to go back, you know what I'm saying? But to go back to this, that very first time, I remember there's like a level of excitement, right? Because being a part of a stage play, and then B, you kind of just really see the drama and the laughs and the ups and the downs and the things of that nature. So I was just super excited, man, to just really be a part of my first stage play, man, truthfully. So yeah.
I love that. Now let's piggyback because you said a thing. You stated that you have been in the stage play before. So you have done what a woman wants, what a man needs to know before.
Yes.
So how do you think from your first time, how do you think it's going to be second time around for you?
Man, second time around, honestly, truthfully, I'm hoping to kind of carve the character out a little bit more. And again, I can speak to it because it's my second time, right? The
Sure.
first time is, I'm just being honest, is it's like an adrenaline rush. You know what I mean? So I'm hoping that this time around, I can definitely just kind of take my time a little bit more. Um, Again, continue to have fun with it. But yes, that there's that level of like, and so now I think this time around, hopefully I can, handle it a little bit more. And I don't think I've ever handled it bad, but it is different. I'm just being honest. It's just something different about being in front of people and the changes and having to, take this hat off and put that hat on. And
Mhm.
a lot of people don't know that there was times where we were also sometimes extras, right? So we
Mhm.
might be part of the dance scene, or you might have to move a chair, or you might have to help a person get this. Like, there's literally been times where people have literally just been throwing like through a mic or through something was like, oh snap, it's a last minute thing. So it's fun. I'm just being honest. It's so much fun, and that's what made me want to come back. If I can say that, what made me want to come back is how much fun it is, man. Like, it's so much fun, and I think preparing this time around for it, I kind of have that level of expectation towards it, where it's like, man, of course, as an actor, you always want to be intentional, but I
Sure.
think this time around, because I've done the play before with Orlando, and I kind of know how he has his level of expectation. I know, like, man, I can really have fun with it and really take the character and make it a character, like make it a character. You know what I
Sure.
mean? So,
Absolutely.
I think I'm excited this time around. I'm looking forward to this time around. Um, just kind of more so being the character and not so much focus on like, oh, am I getting it right? Did I do it right? Did I, sometimes that just happens. But so I want to have a little bit more fun this time.
Sounds good. Thanks for that. Now, before we move forward to another ask, I must bring this up because this time around, your real life wife is actually in the play with you. She is
Yeah.
Sophia in the play. We won't touch on her character too much because she'll have her time to shine on her interview. So, how is it acting with your real life wife in the play?
It's pretty dope. Again, I think that's something that's also different. The first place wasn't in there. This time around she is, right. But this time around she's in it. It's still cool. It's still fun. Um, my wife, in and of herself, she's her own character. She's an amazing actress. You know what I'm saying? Beautiful spirit, the whole nine. You know what I'm saying? So the truth of the other side of it is I'm actually looking forward to sit in the stands and watch my wife act. Telling you, she's hilarious. She's funny. She's a character. She's gonna have a time. People are gonna laugh. And I'm not just hyping her because she's my wife, but I'm hyping her up because she's my wife. Okay.
Love that. Love that. Love that. Now, is there any part in her acting that made you like, oh, I got to tilt my hat, hold my head down, oh, got to turn my head left, that kind of made you feel uncomfortable? Or you just feel like, you know what, this is just acting. This is not her in real life, right? And this is just a thing. But there is any part, honestly, being transparent, that made you a little uncomfortable
I think, I think,
without giving it away.
truthfully, truthfully, I think it's one of those things where you're just kind of like, oh, okay, yeah, it's okay. I'm okay. No, no, I'm okay.
Only
What you say,
You know,
Sheikah?
that's like the best way you can answer that.
acting.
It's like that's the best way you can answer that is just be like, okay, yep, no, I'm okay. No, I'm okay. It's cool. It's the world of acting. Okay, it's the world of stage plays. Okay,
You're good.
but
You're good.
it is a little bit. You just kind of go, oh, all right, okay.
I got it. I got it. All right. So now, Lashika, let's go to you. What conversations do you hope your character sparks amongst women?
Um, my character for most women, or hopefully all women, is to know who you are, regardless of if you're in a relationship or not. Know who you are and know your worth,
Mhm.
right? Um, and to make sure that you don't settle for less. Um, I would say we all, of course, go through issues and relationship issues and problems and etc. But as a woman, know your worth and know that you're not going to accept anything um, less than what you want. So, yeah.
I love that. Now, your character faces emotional crosswords, roads, I'm sorry, that many women might recognize, that they can relate to. Even if circumstances are different, are there any aspects of your journey or Michelle's journey that had doubts, strength, doubts to strengths and resilience that you personally connected with? Any parts of Michelle that you could say, you know what, I can relate to my character in real life?
Oh, absolutely. That's a good question. Absolutely. Um, and with life, we all will, encounter some doubts about things. But what you is what you do with those doubts, right? Do you trust your instincts? Do you, look past, what you think you feel or what you thought you see? Do you move past it, sweep it under the rug, or do you take actions on it? So, there has been, yes, several doubts as playing a character of Michelle and in real life as well.
Absolutely love that. Love that. Now, Antwan, your journey in the play involves choices that carry deep consequences. Whew. What do you think the story reveals about the ripple effects of broken trust?
I think it's a story. It's a story of it's always fun until you get caught. You know. And I think that's one of like the biggest morals of Antoine because he's so smooth and he's has that whole debonair thing to him and he's so confident, right? He's so confident. He has it, he's got it, da 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 whatever. But I think Antoine's character does speak to, you know, everything's fun while you're doing it. You know what I mean? And then when you recognize like I have a responsibility, you know what
Mhm.
I mean? And I think that's kind of one of the interesting twists to it, towards the end is, you know, there's a responsibility as a man to, to go about life a certain way and to handle yourself a certain way and to just handle your business a certain way, right? So I think that's like the biggest thing about it, man. be careful how you play. Be careful how you have fun. Uh, drive with caution. You know.
Hmm.
So yeah.
Okay. All right. So this production explores what you're saying and what happens when personal desires collide with responsibility, because you mentioned that. How do you think Antoine's experience speaks to challenges men face in balancing ego? Because you mentioned charm and all that great stuff. So, how is that balancing ego, temptation, and commitment?
Um, I think so. Something that and I may be jumping here a little, I may just I don't know, but interesting thing that I think about Antoine is the good thing about Antoine is that there's a level of ego. There's a level of ego that is as and if I can say it as a man, sometimes the reason why a man can end up playing is truthfully, I love all of you all. You know what I mean? And I think, no, and I'm telling you, man. Sometimes as a as a man, right? And that's why I said that's why I think that's the thing that's misunderstood about Antoine is the reason why a man can be so good at being the player is because he loves, right? He's a lover, and that's what I think makes that such an interesting thing about the character is because Antoine truthfully could teach any man how to get a woman. You know, you ever watch Hitch? I think when you
Yes.
think of like Hitch,
Yes.
uh, Antoine is that guy. Antoine's that guy that knows how to teach any man how to get a woman. You know,
Mm,
and I think that's the kind of the funny thing about the play, right? Is of all time, one thing that you learn, I guess, or I've seen sometimes is there's a lot of men who know how to get the woman, but don't necessarily know how to keep the woman.
mm,
And so I think sometimes that's the thing, right? Is as a man, you know, because then you got to think about it. Antoine's a man, right? But Antoine was once a teenager in high school, right? He was once a preteen in middle school, right? He was once a kid, right? He was once a little boy, right? So he has a journey, has a lifestyle of learning from all these different encounters and all these different experiences, right? Of talking to different women and wooing different women and knowing like, okay, I know how to get it back. And and that's the deception of it. The deception of
mm,
it is I've learned something that I should not have learned. And that's a
mm,
hard thing, right? And I think that's the interesting thing about the character of Antoine is sometimes a good heart, and I call it a good heart because you know he loves his wife. Like he loves his wife. There's a love for her. There's a want to be there. There's a want to make her happy. There's a want for those things. You know, while also still dealing with the discipline of being a better man.
mm. Okay. So Michelle, let's pivot back to you because Antoine said a whole lot. And
You
I think,
did.
Antoine, I honestly think that you're going to have some women that's listening to this tonight in an uproar. Okay. Not just on this station, but on that stage play. So you might get in a little trouble. Okay. But that's okay. That's all right. You're a man.
Uh,
We might have expected that answer. So, Michelle, what's more dangerous? And we're piggybacking off of Antoine's answer now. What's more dangerous in a relationship, a lie or a transaction?
Um, I think what's more dangerous is the transaction.
absolutely.
And I would say, and why I say that is you can lie and forgive. But when you do the transaction, which means you execute what you've lied about,
Mm,
hurts the most.
Mm,
You could block that transaction from happening or that execution from happening, even though you've told a lie, right?
hmm
Because, like for instance, I could I could lie and say, you know, um, I'm going to I'm going out tonight, right? In my mind, I'm going out tonight, but the reason why I'm going out tonight is to go meet Blow Joe, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't say who I was going out to be with. I just said I'm going out
Right.
tonight. Versus when I go out and I meet this person, well, I've executed knowing I'm wrong for doing it because I lied and just said I was just going out. I wasn't being specific with why I was going out, or whom I was going out to meet. But to lie to a spouse or your significant other and execute and say, well, I'm going to meet, I'm going, my reason for going out is to meet this, this fine brother that I, just met the other day, right? But if I lie and don't execute or do the transaction of that lie, I think for me, the transaction is more dangerous than anything because you just never know with doing that transaction what can inspire.
Absolutely. Now,
If that
absolutely. Now, Antoine, you're a little bit in the amen corner on this. So I want you to speak to that same ask.
Mm.
You remember the question?
I would say, I would say, I agree because a lie is easy to cover up. I'm gonna be honest, right? A lie is not why I got. A lie is not the. That's part of it, but the
Mhm.
biggest part of it is the transaction, right? When you watch the whole totality of the play, which is why we're talking about the conflict of playing around versus responsibility.
Sure.
Um, because you can play around and lie all day. Believe it or not, people do it. It's a lot. But that transaction, there's something that happens even in, and I don't mean to take it there, but even in the
No, go
realm.
there. Take it
I'm
there.
gonna just say realm. I'm gonna just say realm. Just even in the realm, okay? When you do something, man, it changes things. You know what I'm saying? So I would definitely agree that I think my character is for my character or just any character. I think it is definitely a transactional thing that's bigger than the lie, right? Because well, the transaction ultimately makes the lie even bigger.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? It makes it bigger than what it really has to be. And that's the thing about lying. Is that the thing about lying is that lying has a way of, and if you watch the movie, it has a way. I mean, not the movie. Forgive me. Oh, come on, let's go movie. But if you watch the play, come on movie. But if you watch the play, one of the things that you realize is that lying, oftentimes, it is like a web.
yeah,
You just
absolutely.
get caught.
It
Absolutely.
catches up with you though.
It catches up with you, and then the transaction along with it. And I think the transaction, and that's what I'm saying. The transaction is what I think creates the web, right? Because the lie can just be a lie. You know what I'm saying? As weird as that may sound, I don't know, because the lie can be a lie. Like, oh, she just, or I just ran into her. Wow, you know what I'm saying? Like, because there's been times where it's like maybe, like I'm not trying to give it away, but some people may think that, you run into a woman and you smell a certain way. You know what I mean? So it's like, oh, I just ran into Shawty and she just hugged me and she had a lot on, right? So that's like a lie. That's an easy lie. You know what I mean? But as a transaction, it's kind of like, nah, you can't. Nah, that you made that transaction. You made that transaction.
Right.
You
You
know what
made the
I'm saying?
decision.
So you made a decision. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that's the thing about the difference between the transaction between the lie. Is the transaction is definitely more home. It's more responsibility. It's more personal for sure.
Absolutely. Were you going to add something to that, Lashika?
Well, not really, but just like he said, the example he gave when he ran when you can run up, run into Shouty, homeboy and give him a hug, they give you a hug or whatever, and now you have their fragrance on you, right? But how would you avoid that transaction from happening, right? Oh, wait a minute, handshake or the church, what is the church hug or whatever. Um, that could be avoided, and that could be avoided by, you know, having boundaries, or okay, you know, I know I can't brush a ball on him or her, you know, because it may lead to other things, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah,
Okay.
I
All right.
think doing the transaction is more dangerous than giving me a lie.
Absolutely. Now, what's one line in the script or in the play that resonates deeply with you, Michelle?
um Without telling, um
You might can give them a little hint. It's okay. You're not giving the whole play, but it was something, one of your lines that you can act out for is that deeply resonates with you. That way to give them a teaser to come purchase their ticket so they can come to the play.
so one of my lines would probably be that resonates with me, and it's just a small line, um would be, I told you I wasn't gonna be putting up with any more of your sneaky, you know.
Sugar honey iced tea.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
You
And
ain't
I'm
trying to
sure,
find it.
absolutely, and I'm sure a lot of women and, you know, men has stated that in relationships, and it's, you know, it is what it is. But that's one of my script that resonates with me, and I would say from past, right?
Sure.
Because every girl has, you know, um, been through some things and learned from learning experience. So yeah.
Okay. Antoine, same for you. What's one line in the play that resonates deeply with you?
Oh, baby, you look so good. You smell so good. You ready for an awesome night out with your man? I'm gonna be honest. My character. I think my character is an interesting thing because I'm pulling from so many different things. You know what I
Sure.
mean? I'm not really. Again, that's what I'm saying. I'm pulling from just experiences that I've had, like small experiences, but a lot of experiences. Yeah, I'm you know pulling it from just like different, like for like you know, I give a small example. I'm trying to do this best as I can without maybe not saying too much. But like there was a time my brother, right? Man, I kid you not. My brother literally had so one girl comes over and I'm like, oh hey, what's up? Like, and I know her. And I'm just like, oh man, what's up? Hey. And then she goes upstairs and he's in the room, and then another girl comes at the exact same time while the same girl is there. And then she goes downstairs. So
Mm.
one's downstairs and one's upstairs, you know. Like, but I've seen this happen. That's what I'm saying. I've come from people that, you know, have done stuff like that. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to make this, you know, but I'm just saying that's a real event. You know what I'm saying? Because I remember
Yeah.
like, oh wow, this man is player. You know what I'm saying? And literally, but they both left. Neither one of them knew about each other, and they still was his girlfriends. You know what I'm saying? So I've seen, you know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So I've seen player be player. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I mean when I'm saying I'm pulling from so many different things. Me personally, man, I don't really, you know, I don't really do, you know, too. Man, I try to do my due diligence to be alright. You know what I'm saying? My character kind of off the chain. You know what I'm saying? He kind of got some stuff going on that I just be like,
Michelle, I think you got Michelle over there sweating. She's like, yes, okay.
you
What
know
you
what I'm
thinking
saying?
over
My
there,
character,
Michelle?
yeah, my character. I'm gonna just be honest. My character, you know, is kind of like, hey, yay, sir. Okay, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. I'm pulling from some of them, you know, my brother, my uncles, you know, my dad. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I've seen so many different men, you know, talk to a lady and woo a lady and, you know how to talk sweet nothings
Mm.
into a woman and her believe it. You know what I'm saying? So forth to the point that I'm saying, like my brother literally had one woman upstairs and one woman downstairs and balancing both of them at the same time. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. Um I've seen players. I know players from the Himalayas. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, other than that, man,
Telling on your brother and
I
your
think,
uncles and your
but here's the other
dad, and
thing.
just everybody's getting ousted today.
No,
Okay,
but look, here's the other thing.
go ahead, go
And
ahead.
here's something I talked to my wife about. Here's something I talked to my wife about. The other thing about Antoine is, I think the thing that's misunderstood about Antoine is that he actually still has a good heart though, because he still wants to be married to his wife, right? I think, and that's the thing I'm saying is that he wants to be married to his wife, and there is a good heart within him. The ability to either want to forgive, the ability to want to make up. You know what I'm saying? I think, and totally, I think Shell is right for feeling the way that she feels in the play. But but that's what I'm saying. A man playing a man knows what sometimes goes through certain men's head. Like I know that's what I'm saying. I've been around men who, they are player, but they still want their woman. You know what I mean? And that's
Mm,
why I think sometimes that's a confusing thing, because it's like, I don't get that. How can you say you love me, but then you over there talking to her? You know what I'm saying? And that's why I'm saying Antoine is a lover. He's a lover. He knows how to love her. He knows how to woo her.
mm,
That's who knows how to keep her.
mm,
That's the thing that Antoine has to learn, is how do I not just, you know, love a woman or woo a woman, but how do I keep a woman? And
mm.
I think not only is Antoine learning that, but I think so many men, so many young men, my age and above, that's something that we learn. How do I not just, now that I've wooed her and I loved her, how do I keep her? You know what I'm saying? Minus the craziness. You know what I'm saying? Minus the craziness. How do I really keep this woman that I say that I love and that I'm
Mhm.
confessing my honesty to?
Okay.
So yeah.
So, Michelle, how does I need you to respond to your husband
I'm
on
about to.
stage, please?
So, so Twan, I
Oh,
hear you. But we have to not just love a woman, but be in love with that woman. That way, you won't have the devil to come and mess with your mind, play with your mind, and like you said, be a player from the Himalaya, all that. So it's more to it than just loving a woman. You have to be in love with that woman. I'm just saying.
you're gonna get in trouble on stage, Antwan.
But that's what I'm saying. And that's what I'm saying. That's the thing that I think that people are not understanding about the character, right? Like, that's what I'm saying is, you have to understand a man, right? And that's the thing about the character, is because the character takes different forms, right? So,
Yeah.
um, and that's kind of what I'm saying is what makes a man able to do those things. I'm telling you, is yeah, I
Okay, so
love it.
guess what we're gonna do? I'm gonna ask you this, since you're stuck on the character, right? Because what you're talking about, I think we're gonna have to bring you back on, and Michelle, and just we're gonna have to have a roundtable of your comments on figuring out why it is that men do the things that they do. And I have another question down the line for you that I think you might be able to elaborate more on that. So kind of think about that. Why does Antoine and men in real life kind of act like that? But in the meantime, you've used that word character quite a few times. So let's ask, how would you describe your character in one sentence, Antoine?
Uh, Antoine in one word.
No, you can do one sentence. It could be more than one word. It could be a word or a sentence. How
I'm
would
gonna
you
say I'm
describe
gonna
your
say
character?
misunderstood. I'm gonna go with misunderstood. I am. I am. I'm gonna go with misunderstood. And the reason why I say misunderstood is because for that reason, right? Is a man has to learn how how to be faithful to a woman, right? Certain men, right? And that's what I'm saying. Like, when you get these men, like, let's talk old school. You got the old school R&B, all that kind of stuff that are like, everybody knows. Anybody knows, if you really listen to old school R&B, your favorite old school R&B song is talking about cheating. Let's just be real.
Oh, it is. So okay, so tell us, give us an
You know what I'm
example of one of
saying?
those
So,
songs.
Um, let me see.
So you
Let's
think
see.
while you think about it, Michelle, I want you to state if you agree with him saying using the word misunderstood as far as the character in this. Do you feel like he's misunderstood in this role?
Um, do I feel he's misunderstood?
Yeah, because he said he's misunderstood. That's what his character is misunderstood.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think he knows what he's doing. I think, you know, it's all fun and games until, you get caught, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think he's misunderstood. I think he knows what he's doing. Just like he said, all men, you know, pretty much, men, I guess he's saying men's gonna be men. They gonna, ponder and wanna it. So yes, I think he's misunderstood. I'm just gonna leave it as that.
Okay,
I'm
all
gonna
right.
leave it.
Go ahead. Fall back in. Fall
because
back in,
here's
Antwan.
but here's why I'm saying misunderstood though, is because he wants to do right. That's what I'm saying. He wants to do right. That's what I'm saying. Here's all I'm trying to say from a man's perspective, not just from a woman's perspective, because I think women are just looking at it from the perspective of because he feels bad about it. Here's all I'm saying. There are men, and I'm not saying that it's right, but there are men who cheat, bro. They have no remorse. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that's the reason why I say I think he's misunderstood, because I think he's even misunderstood even within himself.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I think even within himself, there's a level of being misunderstood because of him wanting this love. Because there has to be a level of I want this.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? There has to be a level of I want this because and not trying to give it away, but there's this a cry for her. There's a cry for her to say, baby, baby, come back. So that's why I say there's a level of misunderstood because the OGs. What I'm saying? Like I had a lot of OGs. You know what I'm saying? Which is why it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But OG, man, it wasn't even worth it, man. If I can go back in time, I'd do it different. But you know how many times I heard an OG say that?
Sure.
Man, it wasn't even worth it, bro. If I can go back, bro. But that's why I made that. That's why I said that what I said about my brother, because that's what the misunderstanding is. Something that I did in high school that was easy. Now that I'm getting older and I actually want love for real. I actually want love for real. I actually want to be committed. I actually want to, it becomes that thing. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I think that's exactly what it becomes, even in the play, right? Is
Sure.
that I want to do right. I want to do right. Yo, baby, you ready for a night out with your man? I'm ready to get right. Yeah, Twan, because I told you I'm not there putting up with no more of your, all right, baby, come on, I got you. I'm a different man. Trust me. And then, you know what I'm saying? It's that,
Mm.
and that's what I'm saying. That it's that level of, Twan was once a boy who was once a preteen, who was once a teenager, who now has become a man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so that's why I'm saying that, because I've had OGs to be like, man, it ain't even worth it. It ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. Because again, that's the thing. It's all fun and games. It's all fun and games until it ain't.
Okay.
You know,
All
you know.
right. So, Michelle, how would you describe your character in one sentence or word? And then I'm going to ask Antwan, does he agree with your answer?
So I describe Michelle as being a faithful, loyal, um, honest wife who honors what being married means. Am I right, Twan?
I would agree.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, that's simple enough. So, tell us with that, Michelle, how did you prepare for your role?
Oh, wow. So, how did I prepare? First, I, of course, had to read over the script, the entire script, other characters, and including my script to kind of get the feel of what I'm going to be um, playing and understand my character, right?
Mm-hmm.
So once I read over the script and put myself in Michelle's shoes, I was able to then play her out as if this has actually happened to me. So just reading the script every day, reciting it, even going to work, listening to it, and putting my own twist to it because, again, with this entire play, this is real life. People go through things like this, have
Sure.
gone through it. I've witnessed some of my girlfriends go through some of the scenarios that are in the play. So just reading, understanding who Michelle is, how she's feeling, understanding, okay, this Michelle character, I have to bring it because she's just not a character, but she's also uh, a character that some women may be living through or dealing with. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
So, Antoine, the same for you. How do you prepare for Antoine's role?
Um, I just think of a fly young man. I just think to be fly, to be debonair, to be old school, cool as hair. You know what I'm saying? Like, back when and and that's why I make some of the references that I make because I think, not too many young, not too many, they say YN, not too many young really into the chivalry of it. You get what I'm saying? And that's why I'm saying that's the aspect of the character that I'm trying to bring to it is that there is a level of chivalry to Antwuan. You know what I'm saying? Again, like I said, man, I've been around. I've seen. I had a dad. I had an uncle. I had a brother. You know what I'm saying? I had cousins. You know what I'm saying? So that level of smoothness and coolness that woos a woman and feel like, yeah, I got me a bona fide man. So
Hmm. Okay.
that's the preparation.
All right. So, Michelle, if you could play any other character in the play, who would it be and why?
Um, I think I would play Shirley.
Okay.
And why is because Shirley character I can relate I could relate to in life. I've
Mhm.
seen it happen in life. And I've had relatives experience go through what Shirley um had to go through. So I think Shirley would be a character I would play. And again, I would look at it as this was my cousin that, you know, has happened to being in a abusive relationship. So I think Shirley would be my character.
Okay. Antoine, if you could play any other character in the play, who would it be and why?
Um, of course, Devontae. I think Devontae. That's a pretty dope. That's a pretty dope. Devontae and Michael are pretty dope characters because I like their range. I think Devontae and Michael have range.
Hmm.
I think that's the biggest thing that I think about when I think about acting is and still developing is developing range. You know, um, not just being emotional or not just being hard or cold. You know what I'm saying? But
Hmm.
the range of it all, the range of forgiveness, anger, mad, love. Um, I like those two characters the most, and they're also they have a like just this moral of a story to them that's
Hmm.
just kind of funny a little bit. You know what I mean? They have like a funny, they have like a little small more of a more of a story to them. When you see how they end or how they turn, you know what I mean. They have some funny twists and turns to them. You know what I'm saying. And I would just be honest, I kind of like that part of it more so. Of the guys that I can just think of off the top of my head that are in the play. Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. So, Michelle, have you found that working on this play sparked any new conversation in your own life about vulnerability, honesty, and expectations?
Yes, it has. Expectations, knowing um, not to settle for less, knowing the red flags, knowing again, just not to put up with so much throughout life, dealing with individuals, not just your spouse, but just individuals as a whole, to not settle, you know, know your worth.
Love that. Antoine, finish the sentence. What a woman wants is, and what a man needs to know is.
What a woman wants is love. A woman wants security. A woman wants is for her to give you her heart and you carry it like it is a precious like glass. Like be careful. Be careful with me. Be careful. I think that's what a woman wants. I think because I've also had female friends. I was that guy, right? Now I don't know about Antoine, but Cortez in real life was the friend zone guy. So
Mm.
I've heard so many stories. Oh, I was the friend zone. I was the dude that when I was in high school, I was the dude that girls would come and cry to. I was the dude that girls would come and be like, he did this and he did that, and am I wrong? And I was that dude. I was actually the friend zone guy. The guy that everybody would cry to. What a man needs to know is you got to be patient. And the reason why you have to be patient is you have to first be patient with yourself,
Mm.
right? Be patient with yourself, learn yourself. Which is again why I say I think he's misunderstood because there's a level of love. If you go back and just listen to some of them old school songs, even Whitney, like even some of the songs that Whitney Houston made, like it's some of the songs I would go back and I would listen to Whitney Houston. I said, and I would just be singing them, and in the middle of singing them, I said, Auntie Whitney, what you singing about?
Okay,
Auntie, what you talking about? I was just singing it. You sung this too good, but what you really talking about in these lyrics? You know what I'm saying?
sure.
Uh, but I think a man needs to know is to be patient. You have to be patient with the growth and the development of becoming a man because you have to be a man. You know what I'm saying? And not like you have to be like, oh, you have to, or you're gonna crash out. Like, no, you have to be because that's what we need. We need a man. You know what I'm saying? And so I think as a man, leadership comes with patience.
Mm.
In order to really be a proper leader, and in order to be a proper provider, you have to have patience. Why? The Bible says lead in love.
All right.
So leading in love is forgiveness. Leading in love is learning to remember. Leading in love is also remembering that, let's say you didn't do the perfect thing this time as a father, or you didn't do a perfect thing as patience. And then also when you allow patience to have its perfect work, you understand how to have better discipline, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um again, that's what I'm it's because you have to have discipline. A man needs to know patience and discipline. That's what a man
Okay.
needs to
Love that.
know.
Michelle, finish the sentence. What a woman wants is, and what a man needs to know is.
So, What a woman wants is to be loved deeply, not just loved, Juan, but deeply loved. To genuinely be valued and fully partnered. Um, what a man needs to know is that meeting those wants of a woman, um, it doesn't mean that it weakens him, but it makes the bond stronger. So, and respect, and don't get me wrong, respect both ways, right?
Sure.
So, emotional on both ends as well. Emotional in the communication um, is one of the things what a woman wants. Um, is the communication and have that emotional support.
Okay. Now you mentioned one thing in there I want to pull out and get you to elaborate more on, and it said fully partnered. Elaborate more on that. What you mean by that?
So, fully partnered meaning is just not one sided. It's not, my money or my belongs is mine, and we're going in together to build a foundation or to build what we both want in life. So being full, I need you to be my partner, right? Meaning we're going to open up this store, right? I need you to partner with me in having fully support in whatever it is that I chooses to do. So partnering with me so that we both can share the same values, or we both could, feel like we built this together, the bonding, so that's what I mean when I say being fully partnered, meaning I need my partner to be fully partnering in with me and vice versa.
Love that. So before we close out, there's another question. Theater has a way of holding up a mirror to real life. Antwan, what do you hope people walk away with or walk away thinking or feeling after seeing the show, What a Woman Wants and What a Man Needs to Know?
Um, I think there's a few different aspects of the play. Um, just like for instance, just how I think that Antoine is misunderstood. I think Sophia is misunderstood in some ways, you know.
Mhm.
Really?
I do. I do. I
Michelle
do.
say, really?
No, I do. I think in some ways Sophia is misunderstood. You know what I mean? I think the other side of relationships is when we learn that marriage and relationships is about it's really for healing, right? That's really what it goes down to, right? Because every relationship has its hiccups, it has its downfalls, it has these things, right? But at the end of the day, like love is what we need. And so if that's what we need, we have to heal it, right? We have to heal our perspective of, you know, a bad man. We have to heal our perspective of a good woman. You know what I'm saying? I think sometimes that's the thing that's oftentimes said too much even in our community is a bad man and a good woman. You know, it's this thing that's been portrayed as a lot of times black men are these smooth, cunning, debonair men who don't know how to control themselves, you
Hmm.
know, and women are these beautiful stay-at-home church-going women who are just waiting for the perfect man to be a man. I don't think that's always what's happening in real time. You know, there are some men who genuinely want to be a husband. You know, there are some women who genuinely don't know what it really what they're doing as far as being a wife.
Hmm.
You know, that's you know, and I think that's sometimes the thing of it, right, is when we can actually analyze some of these relationships. Like for instance, I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna leave it alone, right?
Okay.
And I'm just sometimes, like for instance, sometimes when you look at, and this is something that's been said of old too. That's what I'm saying. The play itself, it has so many morals. It has so many. There's so many pearls in this play, right? When it comes to relationships and love and healing and all these different things, right? Um, it's one of the things that's like again something that's said of old. Even though you can be the perfect wife, stay at home, do all these things, and have all these things in order, and then as a man, you can feel like, man, but I wish my wife did this. And so then some men offer that one wish, right? That one wish, that one hope, right? And we see in the play, in the end, it wasn't worth it, right? But sometimes off of that one wish, that one hope, men will follow that, and and so they will find themselves in places and in areas where a woman might naturally throw themselves or naturally do something that maybe he's begging his at-home wife to do, but because she's too busy, like when the Bible talks about Martha, because she's too busy doing stuff, and because she's too busy getting stuff done, and because she's too busy, checking the list off and making sure, sometimes, and that's what I'm saying, marriage. How are you married to this person? How are you covering this person? How are you keeping this person? And then the last thing is you can only keep what wants to be kept.
That's true. That's true.
You
So
know.
let's pivot on to Michelle and that question. What do you hope people walk away thinking or feeling after seeing the show? What a woman wants and what a man needs to know.
Um, Walking away, I would say taking a step back and analyzing themselves, and if they're in a relationship of some sort of what is it that we're doing or they're doing in their marriage or relationship and working on it. Um, and just, knowing that any relationship or marriage is not perfect, is what we make of it, right? So having them to walk away and be like, you know what? Michelle was me. Maybe I need to work on me, with the other characters that is in the play. Maybe we need to work on our relationship in, the communication or the bonding that we don't give each other. Maybe we need to work on that and get it together, right? Get it together. Because again, relationship marriage is hard, but uh, like I was always brought up, we got to keep God first, right? And not trying to go spiritual or anything, but um, knowing that there will be ups and downs in any relationship you get, but as long as you work on you and your partner work on themselves to come together to some type of agreement to where the relationship gets better.
Absolutely love that. Now, Antwan, feel free to share where people can follow you and if you're on any other plays or movies or have some other amazing things in the pot that you're stirring, please share that.
You can find me on Instagram at Fly John Moses. Fly Joan Moses. Um, right now, this is pretty much like I'm working on this play. Um, I am recently, right, just had another son. Um, that is that is a lot. Having two kids. So right now, this I'm working on this play. Um, and I'm just like quietly right now carving out a few creative ideas. I feel like that's the best way I can say that.
Sure.
And then in 20 and then sometime next year, um, I'm hoping, things kind of start taking off more. But I kind of just for a season, and like I said, I was a part of this play, and then COVID happened, and it's been so much that's been going on. So like part of and COVID happened, and after that I got married, and after I had kids, so I've really just been focusing on my family. Being honest, being married and having two kids, so I've really just been focusing on that, and trying to prepare for next year because so next year I'm hoping to release my first single, a song called Fantasy, which is kind of funny. It's a song called Fantasy, and the song Fantasy is it's a song about kind of like this, essentially, wanting love, wishing love was something better, wishing love you know was going better than what I wanted it, or what it was, or what I, something better. I think that's the thing sometimes when it comes to love. And it's simultaneously a thing, right? Because I love my guitar. I just wish I was better at it, right? I wish I was better at it. I wish I could, always just play it the way I wanted to, and that it would just make every noise that I wanted to make. And but again, patience having its perfect work. I'm learning about my guitar as I learn about myself. So some few things to be on the lookout for me.
All right, cool beans. We look forward to it. All right, Michelle, what's next for you? Is there
So
anything else going on? Any other things you have in the works? And where can people follow you?
Excuse me. One last thing,
Oh,
and I
yes, yes,
and
yes.
I, and I, and I really don't mean to do this. Last thing.
Sure.
Also, follow me. I am also a chef cook. So if you need a chef, also I'm a man of many gifts, many talents. Okay. Also, I do chef. I do have plates coming, food coming, kind eats. Holla at me. Boom. And
All right.
that's
Is
it.
that where we can find you? Kind Eats?
No, that's the name of my catering business is Kind Beats. I'm a man of many hats, many talents. You know what I'm saying? Actor, musician, chef. I'm just an artist. That's what I do. I do art. I am art. I
Love
am.
love
But
that.
follow me on Fly John Moses. Fly John Moses is where you will see all of my art. That's what I've called it. It's all of my art. My plates, even when I do my plates speak of an artistic expression. The music, the plays, the comedy, all of it. So Fly John Moses, all of it's there. I,
Love that. Thank you for the extra plug. We appreciate that. All right, Michelle.
are you done, Twan?
Oh,
I'm done this time. I'm done.
So you
Done
done?
this.
your
Okay.
stage
So
wife
of
got you.
course.
Your stage wife got you.
So actually, I am in another play that will be September the 21st, which is actually after What a Woman Wants and a Man Needs to Know. September the 21st. It will be held at Encore Studios here in Atlanta, Georgia. Two shows, one at 1 p.m. and one at 6 p.m. Also, you can find me on Facebook at Lashika, Lashica Jackson Greer, Grier. You can also find me on IG at Daughter of a King 38. Daughter of a King 38, and my TikTok, which is Shika, SHICAGATL 404.
Thank you. And there you have it,
I
folks.
have
Go ahead.
been,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
huh?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
So I've also been in several films, television, such as Fatal Attraction, several episodes on that, Fatal Attractions, and For My Men. So you can also find me on those episodes.
Bonus.
Love that. Snaps and claps to both of you and your greatness. And so, folks, listeners, supporters, there you have it. Antwan and Michelle, husband and wife on stage, emotional wrecking balls in every scene. I want to thank both of you for joining me today and giving us a taste of fire, the fallout, and the finesse that lives inside what a woman wants and what a man needs to know. This isn't just a play, it is a full body experience. It's perfume on the collar, silence that screams, and secrets that doesn't just whisper, they explode. If you think you've seen relationship drama before, think again. This show will have you side eyeing your partner, texting your therapist, and rethinking every I love you you've ever said. So don't walk, run. Grab your tickets, bring your truth, and prepare to be shook. Because when the curtains rise and jaws will drop, and trust me, you will never look at charm the way you'll see it again, that special Antwan. So, catch the drama live on What a Woman Wants and What a Man Needs to Know, hitting the stage at the Porter Sanford III Performing Arts and Community Center located at 3181 Rainbow Drive, Gresham Park in Georgia, Avondale Estates. Showtimes 1 p.m. and 7 p.m. on Saturday, September 20th. Yes, it's all day, 1 p.m., 7 p.m., a theatrical experience. And trust me, you'll want to be there from the first gasp to the final mic drop. Tickets are selling fast. Don't wait. Grab yours today at ticketleap.events. Anything else you guys want to impart or say before we close out?
I also
No,
forgot, be on the lookout. Backstabbers 2. I'm also in Backstabbers 2.
yeah.
Backstabbers 2. Backstabbers 1 is on Amazon Prime and Tubi. Also directed and played in by the Anderson. So I am also in Backstabbers 2. Check out Backstabbers 1. Orlando doing his thing.
Yep,
Peace
Backstabbers
and
2
love
come
and
out
so
September 15th. So that's right. You'll catch it on Tubi September 15th, Backstabbers 2. All right. Well, congratulations on that role too, Cortez. All right, Michelle?
Yes. Thank you so much for having me. And we can't wait. We ready.
Absolutely. I'm super excited that you guys are ready and we're going to make this happen. So, guys, again, we'll see you guys September 20th at 1 p.m. and or 7 p.m. both. We wish you guys a good night on Hindsight Media Radio 103.5 FM, where there's always something good to talk about. Visit our website at www.hindsightmediaradio.com. Good night.